iRacing is a sim racing game that combines a true-to-life racing experience with an online community of virtual racers from all around the globe. iRacing offers a multitude of officially licensed cars and tracks, laser scanned with millimeter accuracy. Their car models and mechanical systems are based on real-world physics, engineered in cooperation with manufacturers and race teams. Their skill license system ranges from rookie to pro, ensuring members are always pitted against those with similar skill sets. Members are able to sign up for a weekly race series, compete in time trials, host a private race with friends, and participate in racing leagues created and run by the community. With over 170,000 members, iRacing works in partnership with renowned motorsports organizations like NASCAR to deliver virtual races based on the real-life NASCAR Cup Series, as well as many other series on the NASCAR ladder. iRacing also features team racing, providing a variety of options for members to create and manage their own teams. Race with friends or real-world teammates in full-length endurance events like the 24 Hours of Daytona, Spa 24, or the Bathurst 12 Hour. Additional partners include IMSA, World of Outlaws, Supercars, and IndyCar, allowing members to race in their very own Indianapolis 500, Bathurst 1000, Chili Bowl, and many more iconic events. This is iRacing, delivering the most authentic racing experience short of getting into a real race car. Sign up today at iRacing.com.
Good afternoon, race fans, and welcome to the show. Tonight we got a great one here. It's the kickoff of season number 2 of the Dirt ASRC Pro Late Model Series. Tonight, as you can see down on the speedway, we are getting ready to rock and roll for the main event, the race number 1 for 50 laps here at the Volusia Speedway. We will see 8-lap heat races. We will have cars going home because we have 26 cars on the premise here for tonight's race. So it's going to be a great show. We'll see 4 heat races, a last chance race, and of course, the 50-lap main event. We're going to go start things off, though, here in a few seconds for group qualifying. We'll see a group of cars go out there at the same time, and we'll see who can put down the fastest lap and be tonight's Quick Time Award here for race number 1 of season 2 of the ASRC Pro Late Models. We got a lot of fans here tuning on into the stream, so let me know who you're rooting on for, who you're cheering on, and who you think's going to win tonight. We got season favorite Trevor Mattingly here. He's going to be hard to beat in that 13T. He came home with the championship last season. We'll see if he can do it again. But this season, a lot of changes. That being, of course, the Shotgun Award. So if you do win a race, you got to start at the back of the next race. So that's going to throw a big wrench into stuff. And we'll see how that shakes out the points as Trevor Mattingly locked up points with a few races left last season. We'll see if he can do the same here as we get ready to head over to qualifying for race number 1 here at the Volusia Speedway. It looks like group number 1 will be made up of the following. It looks like the 82 machine of Zach Rush, the 81 is Scott Erie, and Dave Payton, all getting ready to roll out on the speedway here for group number 1. Of course, tonight being presented by Horsepower Happenings with Zach Heiser, of course, the admin of the series. He's coming on board with sponsoring this thing. So if you're interested in getting your name out there and on the YouTube land, be sure to hit up Zach. And if you're looking for a series, you know, they still have some room if you think you got what it takes to make it in with these boys. It's for sure a tough group, but we still got room if you want to join the fun. as it looks like we got our first cars rolling out on the speedway. Looks like the 12 machine of Dow Bolin out on the speedway. We'll see what Dow can do as he starts his first time lap here in the number 12 machine. First time seeing Dow out here. We'll see what lap times he can do. Down the backstretch for his first time lap and off at turn number 3 and 4. We'll see where he can go. At the start finish line, Dow will put down a 15.95, so faster than the car we're looking at right now. It's 91 machine of Aaron Kirby getting ready to complete his second lap. Kirby, of course, with a new wrap now, orange, teal, blue, and white. That thing looking pretty sweet. Part of that T-Mat Speed Shop group. And, of course, the last car on this group number 1 is the 38 machine, the ASRC car, being piloted by Dave Payton. Down the backstretch, Payton will come. He's currently the slowest of this group with a 16.20. We'll see what he can do on his third and final qualifying lap. Payton will not improve his time, so he will stay with a 16.20. So the fastest out of group number 1 will be the 12 machine of Dow Bowen as he takes that thing pit side, and we get ready for our second group of qualifiers here at the Volusia Speedway. As it looks like we get our next group out on here. Looks like we got the 518 of Joseph Grady out here going down the backstretch, getting that car up to song in the 518 machine. Grady off of turn number 4. This will be his first time lap. As you guys can tell here, you want to run right about the middle of the groove right now here at Volusia, especially with these Pro Late models. Still some momentum to be kept in these cars, and definitely don't want to put the right rear in that loose, dark stuff here. As Grady puts down a 16.05. Right now, quick time is Nicholas Alone in the number 1 or 69 on the car. Alone, quick time at the moment. We'll see if he can go quicker here on lap number 2. Lap number 1 is with 15.92. Alone will not improve that. As the other car in the group is Grady Ehrman in the 69 or the 43 on the car. Grady puts down a 16.08 for his fast lap, so he will bring it down pit side as we get ready for our next group. Darrell Larson in the 5, part of the Hot Lap Heroes machine crew. He will be our first car out on the speedway for this next group. Larson on the clock now. He'll head down the backstretch for his first time lap. He'll sail through 3 and 4. Seems like he has that thing up on the bars. We'll see where he can go here as he will complete lap number 1. Larson with a 16.19. Not going to be the lap he wanted for. Also out on the speedway, Doug Ungari in the 00 buckshot machine. He's part of the turn 3 posse. Ungari second quick at the moment. We'll see if he can improve on that. Also in this group, the guy we got to keep an eye out for this all night long. It's the 13T. It's the man, Trevor Mattingly. He'll come to the start finish line. We'll see if he can improve on that 15.98. And it looks like no. So Mattingly will stay 4th quick. So Mattingly not at the top of the timing scorings. We'll see how he feels about that as we get our next cars rolling out on the speedway. As it looks like we get our next cars getting ready to roll on out there. I believe in this next group we'll see the 422 machine out there. Sorry, excuse me. It looks like we got our next cars already out on the speedway. Looks like one will be the 10 machine of Drew Bowen. He will put down a 16.07, so times right on top of each other. Drew Bowen out on the speedway in that number 10 or 88 on the car. Also out here on the track, that is the number 7S of Henry Smith. Henry Smith Currently P number 5. We'll see if he can improve on that lap time, but off of turn number 4 he will come. Henry Smith will not improve on that 16.50, so he will stay P number 5 at the moment. We get the next group ready to rock and roll here at the Volusia Speedway. It looks like this group will have Eric Lake, Zach Rush, Bobby Mattingly, and I believe one car missing. The group, but we'll keep an eye on the 05 or the X5 on the car. That is being piloted by Eric Lake out here, a fellow Michigander out here. We'll see where he can go. And the Race1.US number 5, Eric Lake, is on the clock here at Volusia. A big-time street stock racer he is. We'll see how he can do in the pro lates. Could not make the whole season last season. Pretty disappointed in that, but this season he's going to try and make them all. Eric Lake, lap number 1, will go to a 16.06. We'll see if he can improve on that. Also out in this group, I believe, is the '82 machine of Zach Rush. It looks like he's rolling out on the speedway here, so we're getting everything sorted out here on race control, sending cars out here in groups. Always interesting as we get Zach Rush on the clock in that '82 machine. Zach Rush, lap number 1. Seems like that car got a little bit loose at the apex. Not quite the speed he wanted coming off the corner. He's definitely higher up than most of the cars we've seen. We'll see what kind of lap he can do here on lap number 1. Zach Rush with a 16.45. As once again, out of the marbles he goes. So not the qualifying attempt Rush wants to see here at the Volusia Speedway. Off of turn number 4, the '82 machine will come, and he will not improve that time. So he will stay at the bottom of the charts with a 16.45. For the final time through 3 and 4, Zach Rush out here. We'll see where he can go here at the timing and scoring. Looks like will not improve on that 16.45. Another car out on the speedway. It's the double OH or the 04 machine of Tanner Hutchins. Hutchins, of course, got 1 win last season. Looking for a lot more in that pink, sporty, pro late model. Hutchins right now P number 11 at the moment. We'll see if he can try and improve on that. Also out on the speedway, looks like Tim Rogers in the 48 machine. We'll jump to him, see where Rogers can do for a lap in that Skull 48 machine. Tim Rogers really likes the dirt, but it takes a big learning curve. You know, he's better on the pavement, but really enjoys the dirt racing. He grew up with it in the New York area, checking out those dirt cars, as Tim Rogers just outside of the top 10. Looks like will not improve that 16.10. Also out on the track, it's Chuck Darling in that 88 North Side towing machine. Also horsepower happenings on the car for Chuck Darling. I got to talk to this driver actually just on Saturday at the Berlin Raceway. Pretty cool to check out some drivers in real life as we get our next crew rolling out on the speedway. We got the 37 machine of Brandon Marlowe for another Hot Lap Heroes machine. Marlowe doing double duty in the series. He's showing up on the Tuesday nights for the Next Gen series, and of course has his eyes set for a championship here for the Dirt Pro Late models. Brandon Marlowe on the clock down the backstretch. Marlowe through 3 and 4, keeping that car nice and low. You can already see, folks, a little bit of slick stuff developing on both ends of the speedway. That's got to be hurting these cars as Marlowe goes P number 11 here on lap number 1. Also out on the speedway, we got Stephen Hoffman in the number 23 machine. Hoffman, one of the spotlight drivers already on the Tuesday night series. He's looking for some good runs here for the dirt. We'll see where Hoffman can go. He stays P number 16 on lap number 2. Also out on the speedway, it's the number 11 machine of Blake Steele. He seemed Mr. Consistent last season. He's trying to get some more as he qualifies P number 15. He got a lot of top 5s by the end of the season. Blake Steele looking for another good season under his belt. Looks like we got the 53 machine of Cam Tucker rolling out on the speedway here. He is our next qualifier out in this next group. Cam Tucker, of course, showing up mid-season last season, now setting his sights for a good points run. We'll see where he can do. The 53 machine is on the clock. Cameron Tucker here on lap number 1. We'll see where he can go off of turn number 4. He'll come. He will put down a 16.17 out here on the speedway. Another car out here on the track. He picked up a win last season. He's looking for another championship. He won the championship way back in the inaugural Pro Late Model Series. And of course, being revived with Zach Heiser. And now Jacob Laster trying to pick up where he left off last season in the 151. Laster currently P number 11 with a 16.08. Looks like he will not improve on that lap time, so Laster will bring it down and stop. Also out on the speedway is the 22 machine of Cody White. Cody White currently sitting P number 14, another 16.10, so a lot of cars in the 16-second marks, as you can tell. These times right on top of each other here for the most part. Also out on the speedway, Jordan McAvoy. Where did he come from? He puts himself in the top 5 late in the session, so that shows you there's still speed to be had on the speedway as Jordan McAvoy P5 with a 16.03. That is an impressive run from the 422 who we're looking at right now, as I believe that is all the cars that wanted to take a lap here. It looks like we have a few cars not taking a lap. I believe Tristan Perry not taking a lap here. Oh, Bobby Mattingly with a lap here. He goes in the top 5. He puts himself P number 4 as Bobby Mattingly off of turn number 4 for the final time in the 3M machine. He puts down a blistering 15.97. So Mattingly up near the top. Also out here, another Hot Lap Heroes machine. It's the 9 machine of Dan Lloyd, another driver of that Hot Lap Hero crew, pulling double duty, showing up on the Tuesday nights for the Cup Series, doing a little bit of pavement racing, but they have these dirt races circled on their calendar. Dan Lloyd puts in a 19.21, and it looks like the only car not taking a lap is the 81 machine of Tristan Perry. So it looks like that will probably end up doing it here for qualifying as we get ready now to click over to the heat races here for race number 1 at the Volusia Speedway for the American Sim Racing Club Pro Late Model Series. But the one car puts a P number 1. Nicholas Alone is the quick time here at Volusia for race number 1. Doug Ungari brings it home in second. Third, Dal Bowl in fourth. Bobby Mattingly. And fifth, Trevor Mattingly, as we get ready to head over to heat race number 1 for 8 laps, as it looks like Nicholas Alone will be leading us to the green flag. Nicholas Alone in the 1 will be on the pole. Trevor Mattingly in the 13T starting to his outside. Row number 2, Aaron Kirby in the 91 with Jacob Lassiter in the 151 starting 4th. Starting in 5th is Tanner Hutchins in the 04 with Stephen Hoffman in the 23 starting 6th. And rounding out the field for heat race number 1 is Zach Rush in the 82 machine. As we see the sun setting here for these drivers, heat race number 1 getting ready to roll, already rolling down the backstretch here, folks. So Who's ready for some green flag racing action? I know I am. This will be the first green flag of the season for these drivers. And off of turn number 4, fans, get up on your feet. Get up, wave what you got. Wave your hands, wave your hat. It's the wave lap for heat race number 1. Next time by, these drivers will be going green, and we'll see these cars a little bit more beat up than when they look like right now. As the lights are extinguished on top of the iRacing pace truck, Nicholas alone will be leading us to the green. Top 4 of these drivers locking themselves into the main event, so we will have to keep an eye on those transfer spots and everything in between as these drivers head down the backstretch here and getting ready for green flag racing action. Off of here in 3 and 4, the field will come off of turn number 4. Nicholas alone on the loud pedal here. We go green flag racing here for the first time this season for the American Sim Racing Club Pro Late Models. The field dives down into turns 1 and 2, single filed on out for the most part. Alone leading the way over Mattingly with Laster in tow. Aaron Kirby trying to make that inside line work. He has Stephen Hoffman right on his back bumper trying to get into those transfer spots. If you're a person like Trevor Mattingly, Jacob Laster, you have to push at that point. You can't just sit there and ride, because just behind you on the racing surface, you know, there's cars right there trying to take away a transfer spot. But we see a battle for the race lead. Trevor Mattingly down low in the 13T. Nicholas alone up top. This is the battle for the race lead of heat race number 1. Mattingly rolling that inside line very nicely alone with the momentum up top. These guys staying side by side here at the Volusia Speedway. Mattingly with about a half of car advantage heading into turn number 3. And right on his back bumper, Jacob Laster looking for any sort of opening. Contact for the race lead. Mattingly leans the right rear on the left front. That opens up the door for Jacob Laster, now down low to the inside of the number 1 or 69 on the car. You could throw a blanket over this top 4 here for this race. This time by 3 laps to go here for heat race number 1. So far, Kirby getting a little bit of gap to the cars behind him. Not too much pressure for the transfer spot. He's hoping to keep it that way as he keeps on sniffing the left rear of Jacob Laster for that 3rd position. The battle for 5th, though, heating on up. Tanner Hutchins trying to keep it pinned down to that inside line on the inside of Stephen Hoffman. Hoffman trying to keep the momentum up top, but up front, Trevor Mattingly will see the white flag. One more lap here for heat race number 1. We'll see the field dive down into turn number 1 for the final time. Tanner Hutchins, a piece of the wall that will give up that spot for that 5th position. And off of turn number 4, the field will come. Trevor Mattingly leading the way. He will pick up the win here in heat race number 1. Nicholas alone locks himself in. Jacob Lassiter and Aaron Kirby do the same, as we'll see some drivers getting ready to be in the B main here. 3 cars from that one, 3 cars from this one, also going to the B main as we run through heat race number 2 starting order. Doug Ungari in the Buckshot 00 machine will be leading us to green. Jordan McAvoy in that 422 Hot Lap Heroes machine will start outside pole. Row number 2 be made up of Eric Lake in the X5 down low, with Gary Herman in the 69. Daryl Larson in the 5 will start P number 5. Nice. Chuck Darling in the 88 machine will start 6th, and starting shotgun on the field is the 81 machine of Tristan Perry, who looks like he misses the call here, so it looks like this will only be a 6-car heat race for heat race number 2. As the field paces back towards us, folks, it's the wave lap here for heat race number 2. So give your favorite driver a wave in this heat and place a bet. Who you think has the heat win under their belt? It'll be hard pressed to pick against Doug Ungari. He is so good in the dirt, but he has a very fast Eric Lake right behind him. This could be anyone's race here, folks. Through turns number 3 and 4, the field will come Doug Ungari leading us to the green flag. The iRacing pace truck darts down pit road, and off of turn number 4 of the field will come Doug Ungari on the loud pedal. We go green flag racing for heat race number 2. The field will dive it down into turn number 1. Ungari with a 2-car length lead that is getting shrunk by the second by Jordan McAvoy rolling that top side. So McAvoy trying to find some speed up top. He's doing just that. He's keeping the pressure on Ungari for the race lead. A battle for the 3rd position. Eric Lake trying to roll that bottom side of Gary Ehrman in that 43 or 69 in the timing scoring. Ehrman kind of stuck in the middle here. The top 4 single file now in the straightaways, but diving 3 wide almost in the corners as contact for the race lead. McAvoy in the back of Ungari. Ungari, some more contact to the back. We will see the caution flag for the first time here as Ungari goes around in front of the field with some contact. So we will put the caution felt out and get this field restacked here. But Ungari, bad luck continues to follow that buckshot machine. He never seems to have it sorted out as we ride on board with him. And there's the contact that sends that 43 machine on around. We look back from the rear decking there as we'll take a look one more time to see what happened to that contact here to the buckshot 00 machine of Doug Ungari. Ungari, of course, contact from the 422 coming into the corner. Then you see just that little bit of contact to the back, and with these things, with these very aggressive, I want to call them shovel noses on these Pro Late models, any sort of contact to the back end of these cars will lift up that back end, send that car in front of you around, and that's exactly what happened there. Eric Lake also involved trying to avoid it, gets a piece of the front end to that X5 machine as it looks like everyone's still pretty solid on the damage scale. You see Doug Ungari with a little bit of damage to that front nose, but everyone else, no damage to their cars as we get ready for a Delaware double foul restart as Jordan McAvoy will start by himself out front. It looks like Grandy Ehrman will elect the outside roll. Chuck Darling will slot into the inside low row, and then the rest of the field will slot on in. As McAvoy leading us to green by himself up front, and the rest of the field will slot on in. 6 cars out here to try and make 4 spots for the main event. We'll see how this shakes out with 5 laps to go at the start finish line. McAvoy on the loud pedal. We go back green flag racing here at Volusia Speedway. Chuck Darling now finding himself back inside a transfer spot. So he's going to try and keep that 88 machine here in the top 3, lock himself into the main event, not have to worry about the B main up front for the race lead there. McAvoy under heavy pressure from Ehrman in that 2nd position. Both cars though up on the top lane. It looks like the groove already slowly moving up at this Volusia Speedway. Further back, Darrell Larson trying to hang on to the last transfer spot. He has a fast Eric Lake and Doug Ungari, but both those cars involved in that last wreck. We have to wonder how those cars are feeling, because these cars with the middle of the horsepower range, these cars still very momentum based. You got to keep all ponies underneath the hood if you can. This time by at the start finish line, we will see 1 lap to go for Jordan McAvoy leading the way on the field. Darrell Larson slowly catching the back of Chuck Darling, but Larson is of course the last car in the transfer spot. Through turns number 3 and 4 for the final time here for heat race number 2. Jordan McAvoy picks up heat win number 2. Grandy Ehrman comes home 2nd. Chuck Darling in 3rd, and Darrell Larson the last car to make it in the transfer spot, as Eric Lake and Doug Ungari, 2 fast cars, will find themselves in the B main here for the first race of the American Sim Racing Club Pro Late Model Series. Now we run through the grid for heat race number 2. That is looking like the following. Dow Bowen in the number 12 will start on the point. Henry Smith in the 7 will start outside pole. Brandon Marlowe in the 37 Hot Lap Heroes machine will start third. Fourth going to Tim Rogers in the 48 Skull machine. Starting at fifth is Blake Steele in the number 11. And starting shotgun on heat race number 3 is Dave Payne in the number 38 ASRC machine. So that will be the starting order here for heat race number 3 here tonight at the Volusia Speedway. 6 cars making the calls of the 6 that will be starting in this. Of course, once again, top 4 locking themselves into the main event. As off of turn number 4, heat race number 3 will come. It is once again the wave lap for this heat. Get up on your feet, wave what you got, because next time by, we'll be going green flag racing. Dow Bowen leading us to green. Henry Smith in the top line, kind of the preferred line. So Dow will have to get a good start here and get up to that top lane in a hurry. Tim Rogers in that 48 Skull machine gonna have to do some defending, as 2 fast race cars behind him trying to lock themselves into the main event without running that consolation race. The field heading through turns number 3 and 4. The iRacing pace truck making the left down pit road, and Dow Bowen on the loud pedal here early. We go green flag racing for heat race number 3. Bowen gets away with a great start over the field, already up to that top lane. Like I guess he has about a 3 car length lead over the battle for second Brandon Marlowe in that 37 machine, trying to roll the 7 up top. That 7 also part of the Hot Lap Heroes gang, so a lot of cars out here making up that crew. I want to say not quite half, but close to his. Dave Payne, big slide job on Tim Rogers. Tim Rogers has to get out of the gas and fall way back, so Tim Rogers going back in a hurry. That opens up Blake Steele in the transfer spot. He's trying to get around the 7 machine for that 3rd position. Battle for 3rd right here on the speedway. Blake Steele down low, Henry Smith up top. Looks like Blake Steele off of turn number 4 will complete the pass. So Blake Steele, a man on a mission, up 2 spots in this short heat race. He is looking to go through the front. Like I said, Blake Steele, by the end of last season, a lot of top 5s under his belt. He's trying to make it some more here for this next season. As Blake Steele catching these race leaders in this inside line. That number 11 machine hooked up here tonight at the Volusia Speedway. Maybe didn't have the right qualifying setup in that car, but he has got that thing nailed for this changing track condition. As you guys see here, cars either below the slick or above it. No one daring to run through that shiny, very slick dirt here as this track continues to wear. As we see guys continue to run the top side, that slick only going to get wider and wider for this race. But that time by for heat race number 2, we see popsicle sticks up in the air. Blake Steele trying to make the move on Brandon Marlowe for that 2nd position. They go side by side into turn number 3. And off of turn number 4, the field will come white flag in the air. 1 more lap to go for heat race number 2. Marlowe under fire down low from Blake Steele. Dow Bowen leading every lap so far. Looks like he will get the job done. And off of turn number 4, the field will come. Dow Bowen will pick up the win. Marlowe able to hang on to 2nd. Blake Steele in 3rd. And Henry Smith rounding out the top 4, locking themselves into the main event. Dave Payne 5th, Tim Rogers 6th. As we get ready for the final heat of the night, Bobby Mattingly will be leading us to the green flag in the number 3M machine. Starting outside pole is the 518 of Joseph Grandy. Starting row number 2 inside is Drew Bowen in the number 10. 4th is Cody White in the 22 iRacing machine. Starting in 5th is Cameron Tucker in the 53. And starting shotgun on heat race number 4 is Dan Lloyd in the 9 machine. This will be the final heat race of the night, folks, because after this, we'll get ready to jump straight into the last chance race. We'll see, I believe, 6 or 8 drivers lock themselves into the main event from that B main, so stay in tune for that. But right now in front of us, we got the final heat race to see the last 4 cars lock themselves into the big dance off of turn number 4. The field will come. And once again, for the final heat race of the night, it is the wave lap for these drivers. As another good looking field of pro late models getting ready to do battle for 8 laps here at the Volusia Speedway. Through turns number 3 and 4, the field will come. Bobby Mattingly leading us to green in that blue-orange 3M machine. Mattingly on the loud pedal here. We go green flag racing for heat race number 4. Joseph Grandy trying to roll that inside there. Mattingly gets away with a good jump. About a 2-car length advantage as they head down the backstretch here. Grandy trying to roll that inside line. Then the battle for 4th. Drew Bowen trying to make that inside line work on Cody White. As White trying to roll that top side. They got a very fast Cam Tucker right there, waiting to see what line will go. As single filed out for the top 2, then you could throw a blanket over the battle for 3rd. 1 car just kisses the inside wall. That's a 518 machine. That sends it back into this battle. It's a 4-car battle. You could throw a blanket over all these cars right on top of each other for heat race number 4. This has a lot of stakes and has contact here. The 518 machine goes around on the speedway. He will come to a stop here in turns number 1 and 2, and we'll see the yellow flag as he beaches that car on the wall. He will get the wrecker out here, and we'll take a look here to see what brought out the yellow. I believe the 518 machine did get some help from the 88 or the 10 heading into turn number 1, but we'll take a look here on the turn 3 replay. You see the field heading down the front stretch here. 518 machine trying to get some traction. Very sideways, a lot of wheel spin down the front stretch. I'll slow him on up and then diving it into turn number 1. Looks like the 88 machine just gets into the left rear of him, and with these cars so yawed out, that little bit of contact will be definitely enough to send that car on around. Luckily, everyone doing some great wreck avoidance, keeping the cars clean, and only 1 car pretty much coming to a stop to bring out this first yellow in heat race number 4. So once again here, folks, we get the double Delaware restart, as what that means, leader gets the front row to himself. Then second gets to pick if he wants to restart high or low. He has to choose here at the start finish line. Looks like he'll restart on the high lane. Then the 3rd position, that being Cam Tucker, will slot in whatever line the 22 does not pick. Then the rest of the field slots on in how they're supposed to. So here in heat race number 4, 5 cars left. 4 cars lock themselves into the main event. We'll have to see which car is going to the B main out of these 4. But leading the way is Bobby Mattingly, leading all the laps so far in this heat. We'll see if he can continue to do that as the iRacing pace truck heads off of pit road. And Bobby Mattingly on the loud pedal here. We go back green flag racing action. Mattingly away with a great start, about already a 2-car length lead over Cody White in the 2nd position. Cam Tucker slots into 3rd, and then the battle for the transfer spot. Drew Bowen trying to roll the top side of Dan Lloyd in that number 9 machine. Side by side here for the transfer spot. We will see 3 laps to go. Lloyd will try the slider, not quite clear, but still shuts the door. 1 car in the wall, big contact up and over. Bobby Mattingly goes down the backstretch. A wild flip for the race leader, and he will end on his lid. Holy smokes, folks, where did that come from? That's how your race goes from great to bad, as Bobby Mattingly heads up over on top of his lid as Bobby Mattingly somehow out of the groove down the backstretch. He hits the pit gate opening, and then that sends the car in front of the field, and he goes up and over for a wild tumble down the backstretch. Bobby Mattingly must have had some kind of issue for that car to kind of coast in a straight line. Dan Lloyd having no room where to go and sends that car flipping violently down the backstretch and all the way into turn number 3. We're going to run one more time, and if you get sick easily, folks, don't watch this, because we're going to ride on board here with Bobby Mattingly and see what he saw as he gets a piece of the wall. And then we see this car going up and over multiple times here down the backstretch. I think I'm counting, I believe, 5.5 complete rolls here tonight for that 3 machine. So already seeing our first car leaving the racing surface here. So a crazy heat race number 4, and it's only going to get crazier here, folks, as we got the last chance race and of course the 50-lap main event. As the lights get extinguished on the iRacing pace car, it looks like Cody White will inherit the race lead. He'll start out front by himself. Cam Tucker in second, Dane Lloyd in third, and Drew Bowen in fourth. So right now, all the cars making the show at the moment. Bobby Mattingly getting a chance to roll out onto the speedway here. We have a clause in this series that if you do end up on your lid, we give you a moment to get towed, get flipped back on over, and at least get back out on the racing surface so your night's not completely done with. So that is what this extra yellow is here. Looks like Bobby Mattingly does get that car back out on the racing surface, but that thing's got to be very, very damaged to that 3M machine. We're going to take a look as he heads down the front stretch here, and as you can see, right side completely missing off that car, right front completely exposed. So we got to wonder how that car is handling. But up front, Cody White by himself up front. He'll lead us to green. Cam Tucker electing the top side. When we go back green flag racing, we'll see popsicle sticks up in the air. 2 laps to go for heat race number 2. Cody White on the loud pedal here early. We go back green flag racing action at Volusia. A short amount of laps to try and figure this thing out. Drew Bowen has to keep that 3M machine behind him if he wants to lock himself into the main event. If Bobby Mattingly finds himself in there, we'll have a lot of fast race cars in that last chance race. White flag here for heat race number 4. One more time around the speedway. It's Cody White, healthy lead out in front, and it looks like, unless something crazy happens in 3 and 4, it looks like we will stay the same. And off of turn number 4, Cody White picks up the win for heat race number 4. Cam Tucker in second, Dan Lloyd in third, Drew Bowen fourth, and the last car to lock themselves on in as we get ready for the B main. As we get ready for the B main, we're going to start at the back and make our way to the front. Starting in the 9th position is Zach Rush in the number 82 machine. Joseph Grandy in the 518 will start 8th. Starting in 7th is the 48 machine of Tim Rogers. 6th will go to Doug Ungari in the 00 machine. Tanner Hutchins in the 04 will start 5th. 4th is Bobby Mattingly in the 3M. Dave Payton in the 38 will start 3rd. And then the front row, Eric Lake in the X5 will start outside pole, and leading the field to green will be the 23 machine of Stephen Hoffman. That will do it here for the B main here tonight. As we get ready to rock and roll. Alrighty, folks, I was just chatting with Race Control, making sure I got the number right. Top 6 locking themselves into the main event. So we will see 3 drivers heading on home, as this is the wave lap here for the B main. We won't see 3 of these cars here, for the rest of the night. So be sure to give these drivers a wave because, like I said, 3 will be heading home after this. Top 6 locking themselves in at the moment. Doug Ungari finding himself in that 6th position. A lot of fast race cars here in this last chance race, so it could be anyone's race. And as we saw in those heat races, one kind of contact, one slip up could definitely change the outcome of this race. We'll see these drivers do battle for 12 laps here for the B main, and off of turn number 4 the field will come. Stephen Hoffman on the loud pedal. We go green flag racing for the B main. Hoffman Lake side by side into turn number 1. Hoffman did not get a great jump compared. There's one car going around in the back. That is Doug Ungari up and over on the speedway. That happened a lot, kind of more in front of Doug Ungari. I think it started with the 38 machine of Dave Payne, but Ungari, his luck does not continue. He has some bad luck. He's kind of similar boat to Brian Wilderson, as he can't buy himself enough luck. As we take a look at the field down the backstretch, I believe it starts with the 38 machine of Dave Payton. And I don't know if he got a little bit loose or whatnot. He slides himself up in the speedway. Ungari gets in the back of him. Then the 58T gets in the back of Ungari, and a hard left side hit to the right where the wall kicks on out on the backstretch of Volusia. And that kicks Ungari up and on his side. So we're going to take a look one more time at Dave Payne. It looks like he just not sure what happened, but definitely a little bit slow. A lot of cars into the back of each other. Tanner Hutchins, a big side left side hit, or sorry, right side hit to the left side of Dave Payne. He keeps that car facing the right direction, but Doug Ungari will try and get back out here for the rest of the race, getting that car towed. And Dave Payne, some pretty good left side damage to that 38 machine. Tanner Hutchins, a little bit of right side damage to that double OH machine. As while we're under yellow here for the first time in the B main, we got to talk about some cool stuff here for this season of the American Sim Racing Club Pro Late Model Series. This season we have a little bit of a points fund for showing on up. For the drivers that make 80% of the races throughout the season, you are eligible for a $20 in cold hard cash. We will be giving 5 random drivers that $20, so give a little bit of extra incentive for these guys to show on up each and every week, get these great car turnouts throughout the season, and try and, of course, promote that great racing you're seeing here tonight at the Volusia Speedway for race number 1 of the American Sim Racing Club Pro Late Model Series, partnered with the Horsepower Happenings. Be sure to tune into Horsepower Happenings Monday nights. They can be found on Spotify and all the main podcasting, as they cover everything happening in the Midwest short track racing scene. And I tell you what, they are always entertaining. As we get a full field restart here, Stephen Hoffman once again leading the field to green. The lights extinguished on top of the iRacing pace car. We get ready to go back green flag racing action as we wait for Stephen Hoffman. He jumps on the loud pedal a lot earlier, gets away with a much better start. Hoffman by himself up front. Now Eric Lake might be under fire from Dave Payne. He has Bobby Mattingly to his outside though. Payne down low, Mattingly up top. Mattingly with a lot of speed. He will roll that top side. Payne will park his car up on the top as well. Tim Rogers up and over the banking in 3 and 4. He will lose a handful of spots, but keep that car underneath him. Tim Rogers' first car out of the transfer spot. He's got to put the power down in that skull machine and try and drive that car at least around one more car here as we see inside of 10 laps to go. Dave Payne maybe with a little bit of damage to that 38 machine. He is falling back as a 518 slides in front of him. Payne has to jump on the binders. That slows him on up as now Tim Rogers gets on around him for that transfer spot. So first car out of it now becomes Dave Payne in that 38 machine. Tim Rogers trying to roll the inside in that Skull 48 out in front. Stephen Hoffman leading the way last time by. Hoffman quickest on the speedway. So Hoffman trying to build that gap over Eric Lake in second. Dave Payne figuring out this top side, though. He is rolling back on the back bumper of Tim Rogers. This could be an awesome battle for that last transfer spot. Everyone single filed out in this race here. Everyone up on the top groove. A few cars a little higher than most. Dave Payne, one of those cars, jumping that right rear over the cushion in 3 and 4. Bobby Manley rolling up on the race leaders as well. He has some speed in that 3M machine. He's catching the back bumper of Eric Lake, who was all over the back bumper of our race leader, Stephen Hoffman. Hoffman leading all the laps so far here, but this time by at the start-finish line, we see inside of 4 laps to go. Eric Lake now dives it down to the inside. We will see a battle for the race lead. Lake down low, Hoffman up top. Eric Lake had the run down the front stretch, sails it down into turn number 1. We'll do the same here in 3 and 4. Sails it down in there, gets the car to cut in the middle, slides it on up, but that inside line looking slower and slower. He might lose the second spot to Bobby Mattingly. Mattingly rolling the top side of Eric Lake. This is the battle for second now on Speedway. Mattingly keeping that momentum and just high side and sailing in the 3M. Mattingly will take over P number 2 as Eric Lake continues to try and work that inside lane. Eric Lake maybe trying to get some notes for the feature event before this is all over, maybe trying some different lines. And off of turn number 4, the field will come. White flag here, 1 more lap to go. We look a little bit further back. Tim Rogers, last car in the transfer spot. No real pressure behind him, so he just has to put together a solid final lap here, and he'll be the last car locked in. But off of turn number 4, the field will come. Stephen Hoffman leading the way. He will pick up the B main win. Stephen Hoffman gets the job done. Bobby Mattingly second. Eric Lake third. Joseph Grandy fourth. Tanner Hutchins fifth. Tim Rogers, the last car making the show. As we get ready now for the main event, folks. We have a little bit of a warm-up here, folks. We get cars out on the speedway, dial it on in, and see what they can do here before this final 50 laps. So we're going to go to commercial break on the other side. We'll be right back. Don't go anywhere, folks.
iRacing is a sim racing game that combines a true-to-life racing experience with an online community of virtual racers from all around the globe. iRacing offers a multitude of officially licensed cars and tracks, laser scanned with millimeter accuracy. Their car models and mechanical systems are based on real-world physics, engineered in cooperation with manufacturers and race teams. Their skill license system ranges from rookie to pro, ensuring members are always pitted against those with similar skill sets. Members are able to sign up for a weekly race series, compete in time trials, host a private race with friends, and participate in racing leagues created and run by the community. With over 170,000 members, iRacing works in partnership with renowned motorsports organizations like NASCAR to deliver virtual races based on the real-life NASCAR Cup Series, as well as many other series on the NASCAR ladder. iRacing also features team racing, providing a variety of options for members to create and manage their own teams. Race with friends or real-world teammates in full-length endurance events like the 24 Hours of Daytona, Spa 24, or the Bathurst 12 Hour. Additional partners include IMSA, World of Outlaws, Supercars, and IndyCar, allowing members to race in their very own Indianapolis 500, Bathurst 1000, Chili Bowl, and many more iconic events. This is iRacing, delivering the most authentic racing experience short of getting into a real race car. Sign up today at iRacing.com.
Alrighty, folks, we are back here at the Volusia Speedway, and we got a special guest up in the booth. We got the series admin, Zach Heiser, to talk a little bit more about the series. Zach, how you doing tonight?
Man, doing good, Brett. Doing good. Thanks for pulling me in.
Yeah, and Zach, I know you're excited for this new season. A lot of cars here tonight. Tell us what you're excited about and what kind of stuff you have up your sleeve for season number 2 of the ASRC Pro Late Models.
Yeah, sophomore season, really excited. This was the same race that we had our highest car count of the season last year. And so, I looked at what we did. We had a great field of consistent, 11 to 13 guys that showed up the whole season. And so, this is time consuming. It's the summertime. There's a lot going on. And you mentioned it earlier in the broadcast. We're excited to put in an attendance incentive. Drivers who run 80% of the ASRC Dirt League will be in the running for one of 5 $20 drawings, cold hard cash. Even the drivers that just got sent home out of that LCQ, because they showed up tonight at Volusia Speedway Park, they are eligible for one of those 5 $20 giveaways that'll be given out at the end of the year.
Awesome stuff from you there, Zach. And I got to say, you put on a great show. You see it in the car counts. We got a lot of viewers tuning on in tonight, so I think a lot of excitement for the sophomore season here.
Yeah, I'm fired up about it. We had a lot of guys out of our other leagues tell us, whether it's the Next Gen League or the Scrambler League, that they were looking forward to Sunday nights. And we're looking forward to it as well. We've got a couple of different specials coming up this season. This is just a 50-lap opener, but we've got a Horsepower Happenings Eldora 100 coming up in just a couple of weeks. Then eligible points drivers will have a shot at some extra funds. So that Eldora race will be a cash money race. And then our all-star race for the drivers who are eligible in points will be held at the Chili Bowl racetrack. That'll be a cash-paying event. And then, of course, we've got those 5 $20 drawings at the end of the year. So you really have an opportunity to make some U.S. currency with the ASRC Dirt League this year.
Yeah, you do, Zach, and that is awesome. I'm going to go let you wrangle in all these drivers in for the grid here. So best of luck to you adminning, and thanks again for all your hard work. I really appreciate it.
Thanks, Brad. Appreciate you doing the broadcast, man. Good luck.
Alrighty, folks. That was the series admin, Zach Heiser, in the booth. He's excited for the season as we get wrapping up here and warm up and getting cars down on the front stretch to walk through tonight's starting grid. Starting on the pole, we see this guy up front a lot, and of course he starts up front. It's the 13T of Trevor Mattingly, part of the T-Mat Speed Shop. Starting to his outside, the front runner of the Hot Lap Heroes gang, Jordan McAvoy, will start in the second position. Starting in third is Dow Bolin in the number 12. Starting in fourth is Cody White in the 22. Fifth will be the number 1 or 69 on the car of Nick Alone. Starting in sixth is Grandy Eram in the 69 or 43 on the car. Starting in seventh is Brandon Marlowe in the 37 machine. Eighth going to Cam Tucker in the 53. Ninth is Jacob Laster in the 151. Rounding out the top 10 is Chuck Darling in the 88. 11th will be Blake Steele in the number 11. Very nice, that worked out like that. 12th is Dan Lloyd in the number 9. 13th is Aaron Kirby in the 91. 14th will be Darren Larson in the 5. 15th will be Henry Smith in the 7. 16th going to Drew Bowen in the 10 or 88 on the car. 17th in the winner of the last chance race, Stephen Hoffman starting deep in this field in the 23. Bobby Mattingly in the 3M will start 18th. 19th going to Eric Lake in the X5. 20th is Joseph Grandy in the 518. Bringing up the back row is Tanner Hutchins in the double OH or 04. And starting shotgun on the field tonight is the 48 Skull Machine of Tim Rogers. That will do it for the main event here for 50 laps around the Volusia Speedway. Trevor Mattingly leading us to green. Jordan McAvoy starting outside front row. Folks, this is going to be a wild one. A lot of cars, a full field of 22 Pro Late models getting ready to do battle for 50 laps here at the Volusia Speedway for race number 1. Through turns number 3 and 4, the field will come. And it will be the wave lap. Get up on your feet for the final time for these drivers. Next time by, we'll be going green flag as these cars get ready to duke it out here as we get the salute lap here dialed on up. So this is where it gets awesome looking here, folks, as we get the caution extended here for you folks. And we salute all the viewers tuning in at home. This is going to be an exciting one as we get the field. I mean, this gives me goosebumps up in the booth here. I know about you guys at home, but seeing these cars 4 wide here, it is the wave lap here. So get up on your feet, give these drivers a wave, as we'll be going green here just in a moment. But you wanted the best. You got the best. The often imitated, never duplicated, the greatest show on the virtual dirt. It's the ASRC Pro Late Model Series 4 wide salute. As that is too cool here, folks. Got to salute all the fans tuning on in. We'll get everyone sorted on out here as we get cars dialed up where they need to go. As we catch back up on the pace car here and get ready to go green flag racing here next time by. As I didn't think they had it in them here for tonight, but they do. A full field, 22 Pro Late models doing the 4 wide salute, 6 rows back. That is an awesome sight as we get ready for the 50 lap main event. Trevor Mattingly, 13T, starting, leading us to green. Jordan McAvoy and that 422 blue, white, and neon yellow machine starting outside front row. As I keep on getting the wrong information from race control here, this time by we will for sure be going green flag. I believe we got everyone sorted on out here in the timing scoring. So for sure this time the lights are extinguished on the iRacing pace truck. We are going green next time by. As we got a killer field of pro late models ready to do battle. 22 of the best getting ready to duke it on out here for the 50 lap. Through turns number 3 and 4, the field will come. Trevor Mattingly waiting to jump on the lap pedal. He does so. We go green flag racing here at the Volusia Speedway. The hammer is dropped. As we see the field diving down into turns number 1 and 2. Trevor Mattingly already on an island by himself out front. The restart he wanted, he got. The battle for second though, side by side. Dow Bolin down low. Jordan McAvoy up top. As we see further on through the field, almost 3 wide action. Aaron Kirby thought about making it 3 on the 11 of Blake Steele. Had to back on out of it. But one car we got to keep an eye on making his way through the field is the uncle of our race leader, Bobby Mattingly, trying to go through the front. Same with that 23 machine of Stephen Hoffman. 3 wide racing action at the Volusia Speedway here down the backstretch. Bobby Mattingly going where no cars are in front of him. That's straight through the slick. And he's making it work here, folks, as he now looks to the middle between Darrell Larson and the 7 of Henry Smith. Bobby Mattingly will roll Henry Smith up top and once again dive it down to that inside line. So he will see that Dow Bolin did claim that second position. The top 3 single filed on out. Now Nicholas alone trying to bring that 69 machine towards the front. Alone was quick time in qualifying, so he's got a lot of speed on that car. We'll see how his race setup is for that 69 machine. Right now stuck on that inside line below the 22 of Cody White. White trying to make that 22 iRacing machine work. And right there behind him, Jacob Lasser looking for any sort of opening. He's trying to go to the front here in a hurry. 7 laps down already here at the Volusia Speedway. No yellow flags, but not sure of close racing action. These cars all on top of each other here. And this is some awesome racing here, folks, as Laster threads the middle. He now picks up 2 spots in one corner, and he's looking to get some more as he now looks to the middle between the 22 and the 69 machine off of turn number 2. Down the backstretch, this is some of the best racing we've seen here on the dirt, and it is far from over. This is only 8 laps in of 50 here. Brandon Marlowe trying to go through the middle, that last star is opening up, and he's doing just that now to the outside of the 69 machine. So move Laster and Marlowe up into the top 5 at the moment. Jordan McAvoy starting to fade back a little, now under fire from Jacob Laster for that 3rd position. This is some intense racing here, folks, at the Volusia Speedway. As I can't cover it all here, folks, and I'm sure you're getting your money's worth. These tickets sold out crowd here tonight, and it's because this action-packed racing here tonight. As we look a little bit further back, Aaron Kirby trying to pick up some more spots. He's currently up only 1 spot from where he started, but one of the few cars committed to that inside line, as now Jacob Laster trying to take away the 2nd position from Dow Bolin. Laster trying to get the race lead eventually from Trevor Mattingly. Mattingly up in the lead by 1 1/4 second, but that could all change with the yellow felt coming on out. We look back mid-pack here. Blake Steele now trying to make the move on Nicholas Alone. Alone up top in the 69. Blake Steele on the low side. Once again, Blake Steele right on the outside of the top 5. He's trying to add some more top 5s to the stats of that number 11 machine. That 2nd position now being held by Jacob Laster, able to complete the pass. We'll see if Laster continues to run that middle. He does. Dow Bolin will look for the crossover here, have to pinch that car way down to that inside wall. Not going to have the run off the corner, so Laster hangs on to that 2nd position. Single filed on out to about 8th back here as we look at this battle here. Continuing to heat on up with these cars. And that guy, we told you to keep an eye on him. He has found his way in the top 5 as one car goes around. The 22 machine, Aaron Kirby also involved, as we got a little bit of a parking lot down low on the speedway. Looks like one car to a complete stop. That is Cody White. As we get our first yellow flag here on lap number 16, we're going to take a look here, see what brought out the yellow flag. We'll see if Cody did get some help off of turn number 2. And it looks like he did get some help from the 43 machine. That sends the 22 on around, and Bobby Madley just swinging by, and Aaron Kirby picking up a piece of the inside wall. That launches that car. Henry Smith also gets a piece. Looks like Cameron Tucker also sideways on the front stretch, and that could have been a lot worse than it was, but that was pretty wild. As we'll ride on board one more time with the yellow flag as we ride on board with the 53 and see what he saw off of turn number 4. As you can see, one car spinning, the 22. He'll spin down low, then all these guys trying to make evasive maneuvers as that inside line starts clogging on up. The 53 goes up high, gets tagged in the rear, but does an awesome job saving that race car. That could have been a lot worse than it was. We're going to take a look one more time at the yellow flag off of turn number 4. As our very zoomed out cam here, you see the 22 spinning on the left side of your screen, and you got to wonder, Aaron Kirby's car, how damaged is that car with that inside wall hit? We talk about keeping that car as clean as you can, but you also don't want to hit any sort of walls. That hurts the horsepower of these cars, just kills that momentum just enough that it makes it very hard to pass if you're not stuck on that inside line. But the man in second wanted to see that yellow. Jacob Laster now to the back bumper of the 13T, who will start outside front row by himself. The lights are out on the pace car here. Laster elects to start on the inside line. We'll see how that shakes out for him. Trevor Mattingly leading us to green. Jacob Laster, first car inside row. Dow Bolin, first car outside row, as we get ready to head back to green flag racing action here at the Volusia Speedway. Off of turn number 4, the field will come. Trevor Mattingly on the loud pedal here. We go back green flag racing action, and heck of a start by Trevor Mattingly and Jacob Laster. They leave the field sleeping as 3 wide racing. Further on back, Brandon Marlowe gets a good jump. He'll try and get that 3rd position from the number 12. And with these cars bunched up, folks, let's do some turn 3, turn it up. Let's get some action shots from these cars with some still cam. Just see what the speeds are here tonight at the Volusia Speedway. As right when we do that, folks, we get a yellow flag. We go back live here and see what brought out this second yellow tonight at the Volusia Speedway. It looks like we got, I believe, the 04 machine a little slow on the speedway. So we're going to go to him and see what he saw to bring out the second yellow of the night. It started off at turn number 4, or by the time they got, as you see cars spinning, one car up in the air. That's the number 7 of Henry Smith. Then the rest of the field trying to make evasive maneuvers to try and avoid that caution as we go back here and try and figure out what happened to the number 7 machine. You see him set it down in the corner on the inside line and get some help from the 23 machine of Stephen Hoffman. He then sits wrong way and, oh man, right underneath Aaron Kirby. Cam Tucker also involved in the second yellow, and up and over Henry Smith goes. So we'll take a look one more time at the left rear look back GoPro camera and see just this light contact, just a little bit two different, let's say, center speeds there. Hoffman driving a little bit deeper, Smith trying to roll that line, and then up and over he goes, and on his side he'll stop, and we almost lose the camera there, folks, but luckily it hangs on for a wild ride on board with that number 7 machine of Henry Smith. As it looks like one other car down on pit road, Aaron Kirby, with some damage to that 91 machine, so his night might come to a early end as we try and get everyone sorted on out here at the Volusia Speedway. Well, we got a minute. We got to thank all you guys tuning on in here with us. Of course, watching live, all the replay viewers that tune on in after these races, and the people in the YouTube chat lands. We got Zach, of course, the series admin, ready to answer any sort of questions you guys might have. We got Jacob out there and Tim, as Tim did make the main event. Looks like Henry Smith does get that 7 machine rolling here. He'll join back at the end of the field, but up front, a little bit of change to that outside front row. Trevor Mattingly will be leading us to green, but then Jacob Laster picks the inside again with Brandon Marlowe in the 37 machine. He is up 4 positions. He will start outside of that top row, leading the way. As the field wasn't quite set last time by at the start finish line, so this time by we will see the 1 to go signal here. We'll be going green next time by. A little bit of the biggest mover, that being the 3M machine of Bobby Mattingly, up into about the 8th position. So we said keep an eye on him. He had to race his way in from that B main, from that wild flip, having to go to that spare car they luckily had at the track, and now up into that 8th position there in the 3M. That backup car looking very sporty from Bobby Mattingly. His night's not done yet, though. He's still looking to charge up more. But off of turn number 4, the fuel will come. Trevor Mattingly on the loud pedal here. We go back green flag racing action at Volusia. Trevor Mattingly away with another great start, about a half a second lead over Jacob Laster and Brandon Marlowe, who single file on out, one car around on the backstretch. That is Joseph Grandy and the 518 machine. And we have the old saying, cautions breed cautions. And that is the fact here as we fall under our 3rd yellow flag here of the night, as we take a look to see what happened to this 518 machine here in turns number 1 and 2. Joseph Grandy restarting right about in the 10th position here for this restart, and looks like tries to get back to the low side in a hurry. Chuck Darling trying to fill that gap and just gets to the left rear of that car. Then everyone trying to avoid, and one big time hit that is to the front end of the 22 machine of Cody White, who will get some big time contact. And then one other car stopped on the speedway. That looks like the 00H machine of Tanner Hutchins will maybe ride on board with Hutchins and see what happened to him that sent him around the second time, and check out how close this was to that right side of the 518 machine. As you see him spinning here, has to get on the binders, drives it down to the low side, and just clips the 518 with the right rear. That will spin that car on around and then comes to a stop and just gets a little love tap, I believe, by the 7 machine of Henry Smith. As once again, no change up to the top 3, looking like the exact same from where we started. But then we got some changes further on back as some cars deeper in the field getting re-racked, restacked. But off of turn number 3, the iRacing pace truck makes his way down pit road. And off of turn number 4, the field will come. Trevor Mattingly on the loud pedal here. We go green flag racing action here at the Volusia Speedway. Down the backstretch, the field will come in. So far, still the same. Brandon Marlowe trying to roll the top side, but not quite enough. Jacob Laster able to hang on to that spot. Further on back, one car around up top. I believe that's a 5 machine of Darrell Larson. As we now fall under our 4th yellow flag here of the night. We saw some intense racing mid-pack, and it looks like one car going on around. That will be the 5 machine as we try and take a look, see what happened to Darrell Larson on the front stretch. Looks like one car out of sorts. That's a 69 machine of Nicholas Alone. He tries to keep that thing rolling, and looks like just contact between the 2 5 cars. Eric Lake trying to lift and give him some room, and just quite not enough. And then Darrell Larson just trying to hang on to that car with that contact with the wall. Gets sideswiped by Drew Bowen, and that will spin that car 360 on around. Able to keep that car rolling though, so this will probably be a shorter yellow of the few. As folks, we are closing in to the cross flags here. 23 laps completed of the 50, so we have about 27 laps here to go at the Volusia Speedway here for race number 1. Trevor Mattingly trying to pick up right where he left off last season. Mattingly ending up winning, I want to say 8 or 9 races by the end of it, so that guy is going to be tough to beat. But this year, we kind of have the quote-unquote Mattingly rule. If you win the previous week, you got to start all the way at the back for the next one and try and race your way up through the field. So we will see who walks away with the win. But Trevor Mattingly looking like the car to beat. As once again, Jacob Lester elects the inside lane. That puts Brandon Marlowe up top. Starting in the next row will be the 12 of Dow Bolin, and Jordan McAvoy still hanging on back up in the top 5 at the moment. This time by, we'll be going back green flag racing action here as we put out the lights for the 4th time, and off of turn number 4, the field will come. Trevor Mattingly, another great restart. He will lead the field as they dive down into turns number 1 and 2 as we get a quick yellow flag here for the 5th time. Not sure where it was at. I believe it might have been race control not liking that start as actually I believe the 518 machine might have been involved, as we'll take a look here and see what happened at the start of this one. We'll take a look further back in this field. Looks like Eric Lake did claim that last yellow, so nice sportsman move from the driver of the X5 machine. And yeah, it looks like the 518 with the damage just a little bit out of control. Maybe that damage affecting that race car and coming to a complete stop on the front stretch. That will put us under the yellow felt for the 5th time here tonight, just before the halfway mark. It looks like we will have single file restarts. So race control says, if you can't get your act together, we're going single file restarts, as we got a long snake of cars single filed on out here at the Volusia Speedway. This should make for an interesting restart, as Trevor Mattingly leads the way, Jacob Laster second, Brandon Marlowe third, Jordan McAvoy fifth, fourth, and Dow Bolin rounds out the top five. Off of turn number 4, the field will come on the loud pedal. Trevor Mattingly heading towards us quick. As everyone single files on out, now everyone trying to find some open lane. They got it now with single file. They can go where they need to on the speedway. This time by at the start finish line, we see cross flags as we get a yellow flag here for the 6th time here tonight. It looks like the 5 machine and the double OH of Tanner Hutchins slow on the speedway. We're going to see what brought it on out. I believe maybe the 7S also might have been involved. Looks like Darrell Larson gets a piece of the wall. Tanner Hutchins, no time to react. Henry Smith does get involved in the 7S, and some big time contact there for these drivers. It seems like most of them are rolling, but some contact, of course, to these cars as we try and ride on board with Tanner Hutchins. And as you can see, this is slowed down for us watching at home, folks, and it happens very quickly. We're going to go try and ride full speed here real quick and see how quickly this happened. I mean, under 2 seconds, that car comes to a very slow speed in a hurry, and these cars having very little time to react at that. As Tanner Hutchins, Darrell Larson, both with some more damage to their pro late models here tonight. So we first had a 15 lap about green flag run, and then after that a slew of cautions here that totals us up to our current caution number 6 of the night here, and we'll have to see if that continues as cautions breed cautions, and we are under them here at the Volusia Speedway at the moment, right at the halfway point. Once we go back green flag race in action, we'll see the flag man have cross flags and be halfway home. Trevor Mattingly once again leading us to that green flag. The field heads through turns number 3 and 4. Trevor Mattingly jumps on the loud pedal here. We go back green flag race in action. And you can tell exactly when that leader jumps on that loud pedal. You can tell that rear end, that left rear shoots underneath the car, hooks on up, because these dirt cars drive, of course, like no other. They drive, you got to turn right to go straight in these things, have an active rear suspension trying to plant that left rear as hard as they can into the dirt, try and get as much traction as they can. Cam Tucker here trying to make a move on Tim Rogers. Tim Rogers, though, rolling around the top side. He's high-sided handsome in that number 48 Skull Machine. He's able to get around Tucker there. So Tim Rogers finds himself in the top 10 here, up 12 positions, the biggest mover of the night, keeping that Skull Machine clean. And he's a man on a mission. Started dead last in the field, up now in the top 10 here in the second half of the race. For the front 3 wide race in action here at Volusia, Blake Steele down low, Dow Bolin in the middle, and Grant Eram up top. This is the battle for 5th on the speedway here, and it's a very tight one. Top 3 nose to tail for the most part, about 2 car lengths between them. Then some gap to Jordan McAvoy. Then we look at this battle on the speedway here. 4 cars involved in it, and some more here might be in a hurry as Blake Steele tries the slider, not quite clear of the number 12, so he has to wait to jump in the loud pedal. That slows him on up, and there's a hungry Bobby Mattingly just biding his time, waiting for a lane to open in that 3M machine. Mattingly, of course, still really liking that middle lane. He's making it work where no cars seem to be. Either you're above the slick or below it, but Bobby Mattingly making that middle line work for him. As Tim Rogers closing in on this battle, he's looking to the outside of the number 9 here. Dalbolin able to hold on to that 5th spot. Now here comes Grandy up top in that 43. Has the momentum back in that car and trying to roll the top side. As you can tell, a long way around the speedway in this top lane with how wide the groove has moved on out, but it is still very quick if you can keep that momentum like the 12, like the 43, and especially like the 48 as we ride on board with Tim Rogers with his GoPro. As you can tell, folks, a lot of throttle input as Tim Rogers bounces off the backstretch wall. He'll jump the cushion, puts it in the very loose marble, so he won't have a good run off at turn number 4. That will allow Dane Lloyd to jump back in front of him, but Tim Rogers not off the loud pedal, if at any. As it looks like we get a yellow flag on the speedway. These cars rolling on up, so we're going to take a look, try and find out what brought out our 7th yellow here tonight, and it looks like it might have been once again the 5 machine of Daryl Larson. We'll take a look here at the turn 3 replay, and it looks like the 5 car starting to get close to a lap down. You saw the leaders just on the right side of your screen there, and maybe he was just trying to get to pit road, had that car slow enough, and brought out the yellow flag by accident. As it looks like he just comes to a stop there. Maybe he had some sort of mechanical issue. Couldn't bring it back onto pits. And that will bunch back up the field here with 14 laps to go at the Volusia Speedway for race number 1 of the American Sim Racing Club Pro Late Models. Of course, some race information on the screen here in the mid-pack. The Volusia just over a 3/8 mile speedway, very D-shaped as you can tell, running that backstretch, kind of turning left the whole way around that front stretch course. Very tight off at turn number 4. That front stretch wall comes up to you in a hurry if you're not prepared for it. A nice cool night here down in the Florida state, a nice 72 degrees. A little bit of humidity, so the track stayed nice and tacky. And of course, 6 mile per hour wind. And of course, tonight being presented by a Horsepower Happening. Be sure to tune into them on all of the major podcast platforms as they go live each Monday night to cover all the Midwest local short track racing action and sometimes all the U.S. coverage. Here this time by, we will get the Delaware double restart. Trevor Mattingly by himself up front. Jacob Blaster once again elects that inside lane. As that should put Brandon Marlowe up top of row number 2. As maybe that wasn't just the pick lap, maybe I'm just getting ahead of myself as, nope. We get them all double filed, re-racked and restacked, and get ready to go back green flag racing action here as Trevor Mattingly has led all the laps so far in this race. He's looking to bring home race number 1 win as we see 14 laps to go. Mattingly, once again, a heck of a restart. He's way out in front. That man has these restarts nailed as we see 3 wide racing action for the 3rd position. Jordan McAvoy trying to thread the middle between the 37 and the 12. McAvoy having to jump on the brakes there. That car getting a little squirrely, but able to hang on to it. Now that puts Dalbolin to the inside of the number 37 machine. This is the battle for 4th on back now as Blake Steele enters the battle on that low side, rolling that low side right against that inside wall. He's making it work. As we ride on board with Dalbolin in the 12. taking a look at the field behind him and how close these cars are to each other. You'll see off at turn number 4, the 422 right to his inside with Blake Steele also right there, making it 3 wide race in action here at the Volusia Speedway once more. Jordan McAvoy stuck in the middle, not able to put down the traction he wants to. That time by, we see 2 open palms from the flagman. 10 laps to go as contact here. Blake Steele gets in the side of the 422 machine. Now that opens up the door for the 43. These guys leaning on each other here late in this race. Out front, Trevor Mattingly almost a second lead. Contact again. McAvoy will move Blake Steele out of the inside line. More contact. These guys are done, aren't happy with each other. Now Dan Lloyd will throw his number 9 machine in the mix. These guys are racing for this spot here. Tim Rogers also in this battle as well. As more contact between the two. The 422-11 not happy with each other. As Tim Rogers sneaks a couple, he will say thank you very much. He'll pick up 2 cars in that lap alone. As that 48 Skull machine up 15 positions from where he started. Tim Rogers now just outside of the top 5 here late at the Volusia Speedway. Tim trying to roll that high side, now has Bobby Mattingly right to his left rear. Jordan McAvoy trying to reel back in Blake Steele for that 6th position, but we only see 6 laps to go, so it might not be enough time as this mid-pack still duking it on out. Trevor Mattingly out front. That time by, he sees an open palm. 5 laps to go for our race leader here at the Volusia Speedway. Trevor Mattingly out in front. Jacob Lassiter in second. Brandon Marlowe keeping the pressure on Lassiter. Dow Bolin in 4th. Grandy Iram has found his way back up in the top 5. Blake Steele in 6th. Jordan McAvoy trying to hold on to 7th, as this is where the battle is out on the speedway. Dan Lloyd trying to get that spot from that 422 machine. Lloyd with a nice rebound here. He'll find himself up 4 positions from where he started. He's in the top 10. Same with Tim Rogers up 13, the biggest mover of the race. Out front though, Jacob Lassiter will see popsicle sticks up in the air. 2 laps to go here at the Volusia Speedway. Trevor Mattingly trying to pick up right where he left off last year. Has led all the laps so far in this feature event and trying to park it down in victory lane once again. 1 lap to go for race number 1 here at the Volusia Speedway. Trevor Mattingly will be the first to see the white felt down the backstretch for the final time here. Of course, some intense racing mid-pack we got to watch. But off of turn number 4, Trevor Mattingly will pick up the win. He will be the first winner of the season. Jacob Lassiter 2nd, Brandon Marlowe in 3rd, and off at turn number 4, the rest of the field will slot on out. Tim Rogers just beating Drew Bowen, in that 88 machine. As wow, that was a finish back there. But up front, the man Trevor Mattingly picks up race number 1 win here at the Volusia Speedway. Of course, Jacob Lassiter, like I said before, in 2nd. Brandon Marlowe in 3rd. But off of turn number 4, Trevor Mattingly in that 13T machine will park it down on the front stretch. We'll be talking to the top 3 right after our commercial break, so don't go anywhere, folks. We got to talk to these awesome drivers here tonight. Alrighty, folks, we make our way down to the front stretch and talking to our third place driver first. That is the pilot of the number 37 machine, Brandon Marlowe. Brandon, you got a copy of Brett the Jet in the booth here.
Yes, sir. I got you.
Alrighty, Brandon. I'm glad you're excited for another season of the Dirt. I mean, coming away with a third place. Tell us a little bit about your race and how excited you are for this season.
It was a good race. Definitely excited for the season. Just had a not so great pill draw there in qualifying, going out late. So I think that hurt our time a little bit with the condition that the track was in. But that's how it goes sometimes. Just had to make the most of it there in the race. I think we would have been a lot better off if we could have got a long green flag run and, would not dealt with those cautions there through the middle part of the race. But all in all, good run.
Yeah, a good run indeed. You find yourself coming home third in a stacked field. I mean, tell us a little bit about the endeavors you had to go through to race your way through that heat race, and of course, this main event here tonight. It seemed like some intense three-wide racing throughout.
Yeah, they're early on that first run. It was definitely pretty intense. Just with the people being stacked up on the top and bottom, just trying to find a lane and make it through cleanly. It definitely had some hairy moments there, but it all worked out.
Yeah, and I tell you what, Brandon, a very familiar top three with you, Lassiter, and Mattingly in the top. I mean, I knew we brought in some good people, but you guys show just how good you are each and every season.
Yeah, man, for sure. I definitely appreciate that. Got to give a shout out to Trevor. He picked it up right where he left off last season, and congrats on Jacob for the second there.
Yeah, I tell you what, Brandon. Hey, why don't you let the race fans at home tuning on in here tonight? Let them know what your sim setup is. What do you got for that makes that 37 machine so fast?
I have Fanatic wheel and pedals, triple 32 monitors, and 80/20 rig from Advanced Sim Racing.
Nice, that's a sweet setup, and those triple monitors definitely probably came in handy tonight with that three-wide racing action.
Yes, for sure, absolutely, and on the restarts, being able to, try to hang the best you can there on those starts, being able to see the car next to you.
Yep, that is the key. Well, Brandon, before we let you go and celebrate your third position, I'm going to go hand over the mic to you and thank who you got to thank for this 37 team.
I just give a shout out to all the guys with ASRC for putting this league on, giving us a place to race. You with Turn 3 for always doing a great job on the broadcast. All my Hot Lap Hero teammates, Jacob with the second, and I'm pretty sure Jordan and Dane were there in the top 10 also. So shout out to those guys. 789 Designs for the wrap on the car, and my wife for letting me come in here and have some fun racing with these guys, and can't forget my biggest fan, my daughter Addison.
Alrighty, awesome stuff. Well, Brandon, I'm sure we'll be talking to you a lot here in the future. Hopefully you pick up that first win of this season, especially with this shotgun rule. So, Brandon, you have yourself a great rest of the night.
Thank you, you too.
Alrighty, folks, that was our third place finisher, Brandon Marlowe, in the 37 Hot Lap Heroes machine. Now we head over to second place, a fellow Hot Lap Heroes machine. That is the 151 of Jacob Lassiter. Jacob, do you got a copy? It's Brett the Jet in the booth here.
I got you, Brett.
Alrighty, Jacob. Kind of picking up right where we left off last season. You finished runner-up. Tell us a little bit about this wild race. You pick up 7 positions from where you started.
It was hairy there in the beginning. I stuck myself in the middle, not by choice, but just kind of happened, and it just started rolling. And I just stayed there in the middle, and there was guys on top and bottom, and they were holding their lines. And next thing I know, I looked up and I was in third, and then I was able to get past the gentleman running in second. I don't remember his name, but he ran a good race, and we had a lot of fun there racing back and forth. When I was able to get to Trevor, I was just trying to mirror his line because the track had went away, and I didn't have anything there at the end. He was plenty fast enough to hold on to it.
Yeah, you and the 12 machine of Dow Bolin putting on a great race, and Yeah, Jacob, tell us how you were able to roll that middle. I mean, it seemed like everyone was committed bottom or top, and you said, well, I'm going to go where no cars are going, and you stuck yourself right through the slick.
I just got lucky. I mean, I went in and it stuck, and I kind of was committed then because my teammate Brandon was on the bottom. Of course, I knew he would give me plenty of room, and I like I said, it felt good, and I knew it wouldn't last very long, but it just like I said, just right timing, I guess.
Right timing indeed. And Jacob, you pick off right where you left off. A runner-up finish to Trevor Mattingly. You got to be pretty excited about that shotgun rule next week. That 13T having to start all the way out the back.
Yeah, I mean, we did that last season, and we it was I think it just went good for the series. You know what I mean? It made the points tight, really tight, or made the points battle really tight. And Trevor's consistent enough that he's going to make his way up there. If not, make his way back to the front, and he might end up winning the race. Who knows? But like I said, I think it's really good for the series, and it makes for some excitement, and it definitely makes a guy have to try to focus to get through the field. But like I've spoke about this group for the most part, there were some new guys in here tonight, and it was some tight racing, but all in all, it's like one of the better groups you can race with because just like I said, coming up through the middle like I did, 2 and 3 wide with everybody, and everybody showing respect. That's what it's about.
Yeah, that is. And I tell you what, I can't think of too many dirt series that you can run 3 wide, that many rows, and not get a yellow till 15 laps in. That was definitely very exciting. And Jacob, looking at the schedule, we got Lincoln Speedway next week. How are you feeling about that place?
I haven't run a league race of any leagues there. I've ran some hosted stuff there, but not enough really to be comfortable. It's I don't know. It's a fun track if you get a good group, and I think if everybody settles down and gets used to running around each other, I think it'll be a good race.
I think so as well. Well, Jacob, before we let you go, I'm going to go hand over the mic to you and thank who you got to thank on this 151 machine.
Just want to give a shout out to Trevor on the win. He ran a good race, picked up where he left off last season. We're going to be chasing this 13 all year, but hats off to him on the win. My teammates, Hot Lap Heroes, a lot of guys in the race tonight. We had 5 or 6 guys in the race, and I think everybody, for the most part, except for the few that had some bad luck, finished really well. And hats off to Brandon on the 3rd place. I got to thank 789 Designs, the wrap on the car, Max Green, the Sud Shop, and I got to thank you guys for the broadcast as always, Brett. You do a hell of a job, and I got to thank all the ones that put the league on, and Zach and Dave, and the ones that put in the effort to do it. It's not easy, but we appreciate them. And, of course, I got to thank the wife, as always, for taking care of the little one.
All righty. Awesome stuff, Jacob. I'm sure we'll be talking to you some more here throughout the season. You have yourself a great rest of the night, and congrats on the 2nd position.
Appreciate it, Brett.
All righty, folks. That was Jacob Lester finishing runner-up. And now we'll head down to a familiar sight, the 13T of Trevor Mattingly down in Victory Lane. Trevor, do you got a copy? It's Brett the Jet in the booth here.
Yes, sir.
All righty, Trevor. You pick up right where you left off last season. Park it down in Victory Lane, leading the most laps in all the laps. Tell us a little bit about your race tonight.
Yeah, man. I was talking to Jacob in the waiting room there, and I was telling him that, man, I sucked it up in qualifying. I didn't feel like I could go anywhere. Track just felt greasy, but ended up getting lucky with the draw. Started outside pole of the heat, and ended up getting around. Drawing a blank. Nicholas. Ended up getting around Nicholas, and from there I was like, this is where I wanted to be. Of course, you always want to start up front, but especially at that track and the way the track was already slickened off by the time the feature got there, I knew it was going to be hard to pass. And if I just stayed steady and didn't mess up, it'd be pretty easy to stay out front. But about halfway through, about 20 laps in, I look up and here comes Jacob and Brandon, and I know there's some slick track guys, and I normally go backwards whenever the track gets this slick, and I've been working on my throttle control and stuff, and I told myself with about 25 to go to not go full throttle, and I don't think I went full throttle much after that, the last half of the race, and sometimes less throttle is more speed.
Yep, that is the key. These pro late models, the fine line between momentum and kind of putting that power down, let's say, and not spinning too much because, like we said, it's all about that corner speed here. It seems like for these dirt cars, is that the key?
Most definitely. Another key, especially with a track this slick, is momentum. And you really have to keep your momentum up. And when the checker dropped here, I rarely ever see it, but I think if someone would have got up there and ran around the entire high side, around the wall, I think that would have come in because it was ripping up there. And I've seen it come in a couple times, but it's pretty cool to get up there and run that. Wish I would have been able to, but I was running good right there through the middle, just keep the car straight and tires from spinning, and ended up working out.
Yeah, it did, Trevor. And I got to ask, how were you so good on those restarts? It seemed like by the time the field under turn one, you had a 6 to 8 car lead by the time off of turn number 2.
The Delawares definitely helped, but you just got to cut the thing left and hold on to it, man. And I was catching the tacky down there at the bottom of the track and was also going at the kind of right before the middle of the corner in 3 and 4, and it really benefits the leader with starts like that. And I just turn it left and hammer down, man.
Yep, that is the key. So, Trevor, I got to ask you, how you feel about starting in the back next week? We put in the Mattingly rule this year. You're going to have to start shotgun on the field. And that's got to be a little bit nerve-wracking, but I know you got the car control to make your way through that field.
It definitely is. It'll be fun. It's definitely going to test whether or not, with 50 laps, I think next week's 50 laps, maybe 75. But anyway, there's plenty of time to go from the back. And with these guys, it's some of the best guys you can race around, so they're going to hold their line and not going to be everywhere. So it makes it that much better to try to get through the field with stuff like that. The last race of the season, last season, I did the EOL, and it was pretty fun coming up through there. So hopefully we can make it happen at Lincoln. Never done it there, and I'd say that's going to be a challenge, but I'm up for it, man.
Yeah, that race is going to be very exciting. Not a lot of laps by a lot of people at that place with it being fairly new. But Trevor, before we let you go and celebrate down in Victory Lane, I think that's going to be a very common saying I'm going to have. But I'm going to go hand over the mic to you and thank who you got to thank for this 13T machine.
Yeah, first and foremost, got to thank y'all for the broadcast, and Zach and David and all the guys behind the scenes putting on ASRC. This is my second season running. I hope for 50 more, man. It's a heck of a time, and got to thank Aaron Kirby for the wrap. He does a hell of a job. He does real stuff, anywhere from go-karts, real cars, to trailers, whatever you need. Got to thank Bobby, my uncle. He had some real bad luck in the heat race. It's almost like a drive line falling out in a real car or something. His VR shut off while he was leading, so had some real bad luck there. But Aaron as well, Tanner, Hutchins, they're all on the little team we've put together. Also got to thank High Lab Heroes. Congratulate Jacob and Brandon on the podium finishes, and also had 5 or 6 other teammates in here, and they also all ran pretty well too. So got to congratulate them, and definitely don't get over and talk to them guys as much as I should, but I don't get to get on his race near as much as I should. So it's fun definitely getting on here on Sunday nights and running with you guys.
And that it is. I know how much you're watching your mirror, Trevor, but we had a lot of 3-wide racing action tonight, and everyone's staying off each other, especially that first run. It was intense mid-pack. But Trevor, once again, congrats on the win, picking right off where you left off last season, and you have yourself a great rest of the night. Can't wait to see what you have next week at Lincoln.
Alrighty, man. We'll see you.
Alrighty, folks. That was Trevor Mattingly down in Victory Lane, picking up right where he left off with the race win for race number 1 of the American Sim Racing Club Pro Late Models here at the Volusia Speedway. We will now head on over and run through tonight's feature results here after the 50 laps. Trevor Mattingly in the 13T picks up the win. Jacob Laster in the 151 will finish second. Third going to Brandon Marlowe in the 37 machine. Dow Bolin in the 12, a nice run there, will finish fourth. And rounding out the top five is the 69 machine of Grandy Ehrman in the fifth position. Sixth going to Blake Steele in the 11. Seventh is Jordan McAvoy in the 422. Dan Lloyd in the 9 machine will finish 8th. Drew Bowen in the 10 will finish 9th. The biggest mover of the race, that being Tim Rogers in the 48, will finish 10th. 11th going to Bobby Mattingly in the 3. 12th, Chuck Darling in the 88. 13th is Stephen Hoffman in the 23. 14th, Cam Tucker in the 53. The 91 machine of Aaron Kirby finishes 15th. 16th going to Tanner Hutchins in the 04. 17th is Eric Lake in the X5. 18th is Daryl Larson in the 5. 19th is Cody White in the 22. Rounding out the top 20 is Henry Smith in the 7. Nicholas Alone in the 1 will finish 21st. And 22nd going to Joseph Grandy in the 518 machine. So folks, that will do it for race number 1 of the American Sim Pro Late Models. Be sure to tune in next week, April 23rd, same time, same place on the Turn 3 Racing Network to catch race number 2 at the Lincoln Speedway. Thanks again for all the viewers tuning on in live. We had a great turnout. Thanks again to all the replay viewers tuning on in after the show. Got to appreciate everyone sticking on in with the interviews or whatnot. And got to shout out Zach, Jacob, and Tim in the YouTube chat lands. I've been Brett the Jet from Turn 3 Racing Network. Be sure to tune into Turn 3 throughout the week to get a lot of great racing action, a lot of great series. I know I have my Tuesday and Thursday, and of course a lot of other series. Everyone have a great night. Stay safe. I've been talking way too much, and I got to get out of here. So everyone take care, and I've been Brett the Jet, and I just flew by you. See you guys next week.